In this video, I'm going to show you a few new features that are introduced with the latest update to e-learning. I'm going to show you a returning feature that I'm sure many of you are going to be really happy about. And I'm going to show you a couple of quirks that I think a few of you are going to experience, and I just want to let you know about them. So to begin, I want to show you the floating submit button. To get to this, I am going to open up any tool. So for example, I'm going to go to assignment. And at first it seems that the assignment page is very short because right here is a submit button. However, if I scroll down, you'll notice that that submit button stays where it is and it just floats, or it sticks to the bottom of the screen, which is really nice. You no longer have to scroll to the top of the page or to the bottom of the page to finally hit submit. So that's something to just keep in mind. When you go to a properties page, that submit button sticks down there. So make sure you scroll down and you get everything you need. Gonna cancel. The next thing I want to show you, and you might have noticed it on the previous screen, is the ability to drag and drop into various different tools. To show you this functionality, I'm going to go to Build Content, Item, and I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and you'll notice in this Attachments section, you've got this dotted rectangular area. You actually can drag and drop files directly into this area. Okay, so let me pull over a window to show you exactly how this works. Okay, so I have my computer open right here, and I have just behind it that upload area within eLearning. If I click and drag my file or files directly into this area, notice now it uploads, or it puts the file right there into my item. This functionality actually appears in various different areas, including, as we're looking at item tool, also in the assignments tool if you're attaching a file to an assignment. So you'll see this in different places within eLearning. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of this. One area you won't see it in is actually the File tool, which is under Build Content, File. I suspect the reason for this is when you have a file, when you're uploading a file, it's something you want to set aside. You want to upload it and have it set aside from everything else. You want it there by itself. For example, the course syllabus. So in this case, you can only upload one thing, and you use the traditional Browse My Computer button or Browse the Content Collection button. Okay, the next functionality I want to show you is a submission receipt. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go back to assignment, and I'm going to create an assignment. And I'm going to switch over to my student view, or my student preview, and I'm going to submit that assignment as a student. Notice again that students have the ability to drag and drop files into that upload area. So let me go ahead and do that again, since it's a nice feature. And as a student, I'm going to submit the file. Once a student has submitted the file, the student will see a success message at the top. And within that success message, they will see a confirmation number. The submission confirmation number is, and it gives you a long string of letters and numbers. The student is able to copy and save this number as proof of their submission. So if ever a student has an issue where they say they uploaded something and for whatever reason you don't see that submission, what the student can do is submit this confirmation number to eLearning, and then we can use that to figure out what happened to the student's submission. Okay, I'm going to exit my preview. Now I'm going to tell you about a feature that is returning, and I know many of you are going to be very happy about this. Spell check is back. It took them a while, but Blackboard was able to fix the issue where when you typed into the virtual text box editor, it added a whole bunch of span tags, even when you were typing just plain text. And those span tags interfered with tests, and they actually caused problems with tests, which are pretty critical. So let me show you the functionality, or remind you where it is. Build content, item, for example. Anywhere where there's a virtual text box editor, you will find the spell checker. I'm going to click in the text box, and I'm going to type in a few things. Okay, just a simple list of names. Now I'm going to click on HTML, and I get this very clean HTML. Previously, what was happening is if you had typed in these 4 words, very simple, very plain, and you looked at the HTML, there was all kinds of HTML garbage code that was added in there, and that caused a lot of problems with tests. So that was why we had the spell checker turned off. Let me cancel out of this. So that's very good news. I'm going to go ahead and click on cancel. Now it's time for me to show you a few quirks that are introduced with the new e-learning. The first thing that you'll notice, and the severity depends on which browser you are using. And I can't exactly figure out which one is worse because it's not consistent, which is aggravating. So within e-learning, you have the ability to reorder your course menu. Okay, you can hover over anything and click and hold on the arrows over on the left-hand side and drag something. You'll notice as I'm dragging right now, it gives me this large box, and it's kind of hard to figure out where it's going to end up, my announcements link that I'm dragging up and down. Okay, I have seen it to where when you click and drag it, the actual word floats down, and it's just very kind of weird how it does that. So if you have any trouble reordering anything, I want to point out a feature that's really nice, and I've used it in the past, and I'm using it more now that there's this weird little issue. If you'll hover over this button right here in the top right corner, it's called the Keyboard Accessible Reordering Menu Items. If I click on it, you'll notice it brings up its own little window, and I can reorder by clicking on whatever it is I want to move and moving it up or down. So I'm going to go ahead and move it to where I want, click submit, and then I get this nice little window that says your items have been reordered. Now I'm going to show you that same reordering issue, this time with items that you have on your page. It's very common for you to have different folders and text and files that you've linked to on the page, and there are times when you want to reorder those. And the same issue where you click and drag, see, like right now it's acting totally fine, but I have seen it just earlier today where it floats all over the place and it acts erratic. So notice at the top right corner, again, you have that Keyboard Accessible Reordering button. So I just click on it, select what I want to move it where I want, either up or down, and then hit submit, and I get my little confirmation window. So that's a weird little quirk, kind of aggravating. Hopefully Blackboard will fix this before, as soon as possible. So just FYI. The next thing I want to show you is display dates. There are times when you create content, like for example, I have this text, this item with text on it. I'm going to go and edit that item, and at the bottom I can change the display after the display until, okay, so that it will remain hidden to a certain date. If I click here and I type in a certain date, so let's say 8/1/2017. Instead of using the date picker, I actually type in the date right there. I'm going to hit submit, and notice that the content hasn't been delayed, so students can still see it right now. It should say this item is not available. It will become available on August 1st. Okay. This is a known issue. It's something that's newly introduced. So instead of manually typing in the date, use the little date picker, and now when you hit submit, you will see the availability message. This item is not available. It will be available on August 1st. Okay? So now if I switch over to the student view, it truly is not available. So this is just an overview of the new features that are introduced in the latest update to Blackboard, as well as a returning feature. I know lots of you are going to be happy about the spell check, and a few minor quirks that are introduced with this latest update. If you have any questions, please contact elearning@utdallas.edu. I hope you found this useful. Thanks, and have a great day.